It's This Week in Bourbon, and it used to be so easy making friends. And here's your headlines for August 29th, 2025. Bourbon Banter is hosting its 12th annual 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge. Castle and Key Distillery has debuted the Key Collective, and Penelope Bourbon has announced its 2025 estate collection. And before we get started, here's a quick word from our partners. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is This Week in Bourbon. Kenny and Ryan here with you.
Surprised one of your headlines when the T-Swift news.
It should have been T-Swift. T-Swift is, I'm so happy. Congratulations to her and Travis. It was the viral moment. It's the big news moment, but I don't know if it's considered viral, right? So maybe that's my barometer on how I gauge
barometer.
it. Yeah, that's how I gauge it. But yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. So the headline here, what I talked about is, remember how easy it used to be to make friends as a kid?
Yeah, somewhat.
I mean, nowadays it's like being an adult, making friends it's not easy, right? I mean, unless you
I find it easier to make friends.
Do you? I was like, sometimes, as an adult, you're just kind of like,
it's just hard committing to those friendships.
You gotta go. And it's like, am I friends with them because I want to be friends with them? Or is it because my kids are friends with them? It's that sort of thing to it. But so anyway, there was this other video that kind of came up on TikTok, and I was like, well, this is pretty apropos. So here it is.
Yeah, I want to be your friend. Okay. Bye, Mom.
That's it.
Just chasing her down.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm going to be your friend. Bye, Mom. And they're like, okay. I mean, that's just how easy it was as a child. Be like, we're going to be friends forever.
Yeah. My daughter doesn't like doing that. She if somebody talks to her, she's like, what?
like I need at least a warming up period to you kind of
Whereas
thing.
Rowan, my son's like, yeah, fog a mirror, you'll be my friend.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Let's see. You're going to be moving. No, you're not moving, but you're going to be in.
I'll be in Denver this weekend. Yeah, if you're listening this Friday, I'm in Denver right now. I'm at our distributors having a meeting, and but tomorrow night, Saturday, I will be at Spirit Wine Provisions in the stock room, which is like their kind of speakeasy cocktail lounge. We're going to have some Pursuit cocktails and going to bring some fun pours to sample out.
It's not an actual stock room then. It's like the back room. It's like,
it's kind of, yeah, it's a hybrid. Okay. Hybrid model. It's a really cool space. So it's in Arvada. I don't know how you say it in Colorado, but just right outside Denver, so hope to see you there.
Sounds good. And I'm going to be traveling now, so I'm going to be in the Baltimore, Maryland, and D.C. area. Well, I don't know about Baltimore, but I'll definitely be in Maryland and D.C. October 8th and 9th. So
you'll definitely be in Baltimore.
Yeah, well,
that's where Prestige is located.
Well, I got to fly in there, right? And it's my only direct is Southwest is through there. So I don't know exactly what's going to be lined up just yet, but stay tuned. Just know October 8th and 9th, either in Maryland and DC timeframe there. All right, so let's kind of talk about some things. I also think we should start calling it maybe like This Week in Fawn, right? Because it seems, I don't know. There's a lot going on. Have you seen the latest thing that she came out with?
No.
Calling this her T-Swift moment.
Oh yes, I did see that.
All right, I'm gonna play this a little bit because I think if you haven't heard, if you listened to our last roundtable, you kind of know exactly a little bit about what's happening here. And this one I thought was very interesting. So it was at it looked like an Invest conference or something like that. Anyway, here's a little headline here for you.
2009, Taylor Swift was a country artist singing a song called I'm in Love with Tim McGraw.
You think Tim McGraw? We're going to get in trouble for that.
She was cute, like every other young country artist. Then Kanye took her mic.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Everybody remembers this one. Oh, yeah.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Whoa, he was in shock.
Videos of all time.
It's still unbelievable he did that.
I know.
Publicly embarrassed her And that catapulted her to a level of success that no one can touch, no one can track. So if you want to ask me what is going on right now that I can say off the gag order, this is our Taylor moment.
Oh, yep. Uh-huh. So, yeah.
I find it crazy. I mean, it's one thing to say that this is your Taylor moment. Taylor wasn't also facing $100 million in lawsuit, and this is the business industry and not the entertainment industry. So I think it's hard to call it that, but it is crazy to kind of see the polarization that is happening on social media, because there is a lot of people that are rallying behind her and that are saying that, and you mentioned it on the roundtable about like it's almost turning into like a race thing, because people are assuming that they're
saying like the CFO was planted by the bank to
they're trying
do
to
the fraudulent
they're trying to steal like more black wealth away or something like that.
Yeah,
it seems.
Which, I mean, she came out and basically said this was a smear campaign, but all the facts say otherwise. So it's just fascinating that people will listen to her and whatever she says is gospel, and they're not going to be deterred anyway. And then you have the other half. It's like, well, looking at the facts, this is like bad. And then if you're saying it's looking at the facts, it's bad, you're like somehow, trying to take her down. I'm like, I'm not trying to take her down. I want her to come out of this. I want Uncle Nearest to come out of this. But there's been a lot of bad decisions made, and the facts just don't look good for the outcome. And that's just the reality of the situation.
A receiver has been appointed already, which is a bankruptcy lawyer. So that is already kicking and happening. I don't know what the next phase is going to be. Just know that
I guess we'll see what happens. Entertaining.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens with next week in Fawn. That's all I can say.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more bourbon and whiskey news outside this. By the way, if you are wanting to know more about the whole Fawn Weaver, Uncle Nearest, everything that's going on, there's actually kind of I don't know about in depth, but it's a lot of journalism and reporting. It's on the bourbonandryeclub.com, and you can just search for Uncle Nearest live updates, and it's everything that is coming from any type of court document or something that's being exposed, and breaking it down, but also giving some of his own color commentary on it. So if you really want to follow along, I'd say highly suggest going and reading that. I've been doing that to kind of pay attention to what's happening here too.
Yeah. The Shelbyville Now Facebook page is a pretty good resource too, because obviously this affects their town and community. So they're keeping close eyes on everything. So I found that to be a good resource.
Very good. All right, let's go ahead. Let's talk about some other bourbon news. And there's also some other kind of like bourbon bad news here, and it's just part of what it is. But Bulleit is now launching a new marketing campaign called Doing Over Dreaming, which celebrates individuals who turn their ideas into action. I'll kind of skip a little bit of this because it kind of talks about, like what it is, the bold and black photography or whatever. But this is what I really liked about it, because I'm a huge fan of this. As part of the campaign, Bulleit has also partnered with First We Feast and Hot Ones with their host Sean Evans to produce 3 new episodes content series called One More Round. And this is going to be airing in autumn of 2025.
Ooh, I like Hot Ones.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love everything about Hot Ones. I think it is by far some of the best interviewing skills that's out there on the planet today. The level of depth their teams go to do research on individuals, it's fascinating. And I love seeing all the celebrities go on there and just cry because the hot sauce is so hot. And I end up I got as a gift, I have like the Last Dab at my house, and I have a few other ones that came from heating this, and it is no joke. I have a little bit of that Last Dab. I'm like, I don't know why I do this to myself, because I can't taste anything for at least 3 hours afterwards.
I enjoy it myself. It's like how far pain. I guess it's like the hazmat thing.
Yes, exactly. It's like, how far can I take that? I did this to myself last night. I went to, there's a place called Holy Grail here in town.
Yes.
And they have a beer, cheese, and pretzel, but you can get a side of their mustard. I swear this mustard is like probably 95%. What's the green stuff?
Horseradish?
What's the wasabi?
Wasabi.
Oh, that's what I felt like it is. And as soon as I take a big bite, it's like I like the whole
your nasal cavity clears.
I mean, none of that. It's like my whole face was stinging. Like that's how bad it was. But
that's like
but I did it a third time.
Have you been to St. Elmo's in Indy?
I've had the famous
cocktail sauce.
Yeah, I've had the famous shrimp cocktail before.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I remember last time I went, there was this dad and like his 12 or 13-year-old daughter, and like she had no clue what she was getting. She just dunked it in there, and then she's like, you just hear it's like, oh my God, what's happening? It was the funniest thing ever.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. All right, so this is some other great news that the Kentucky Distillers Association is now applauding Canada's decision to restore zero tariffs on Kentucky bourbon and other goods under the USMCA, and I think that's the United States, Mexico, Canada trade agreement. Anyway, they thank Alberta and Saskatchewan for previously returning American alcoholic beverages to shelves and look forward to the return of Kentucky bourbon throughout Canada.
Yeah. I was there in Canada, Montreal, and Quebec City earlier this summer, and I know the bartenders will be glad that this is over. They were like, we don't want to use Canadian whiskey in our cocktails. So
there was other things. It's even like other Canadians are like, I don't want to drink Canadian wine. Can we please get back some Napa cabs over here or something too?
Yeah, that's huge news. It's good. I mean, Canada's a decent market, not the biggest, but it's definitely will help these bourbon companies get back on track for hitting their sales numbers and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll skip down a little bit here because, what's one is good and one is bad. But the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, also known as DISCUS, and Spirits Europe have expressed their disappointment after a joint statement has come out from the United States and the European Union that they failed to address the issue on tariffs on spirits. This comes after the EU announced a 6-month suspension of retaliatory tariffs on U.S. spirits until February 5th, 2026. And they said, while they appreciate the efforts to protect American jobs, the lack of a permanent tariff-free trade agreement is a letdown. And according to the economic analysis done by DISCUS, a 15% tariff on European spirits could lead to over $1 billion lost in retail sales and more than 12,000 job losses here in the U.S. Both organizations are urging a swift return to zero tariff agreements.
So they're saying when we import Scotch, that's going to create job losses here? Is that what?
No. I mean, there's a 15%. Yeah. Essentially, it will incur more job losses here in the U.S.
Got it.
As well as basically remove $1 billion lost in retail sales.
Yeah.
Because Scotch is Scotch, right? You can't get away from it.
I wonder how they predict that. Like,
I'm sure that is probably to the 11th and nth degree of really what it is. But you have to have a shocking factor. People aren't, if they were like, well, it's $100,000, like, well, okay, like you can get over $100,000, but $1 billion, $1 billion, that's going to raise some eyebrows. So they had to do something to raise some eyebrows, which, I mean, it sucks. Like we're getting hit with tariffs now. We just put in an order for new tops and everything like that. Bar tops, 15% tariff now that we have to pay from our friends over in Portugal. So
bummer.
I know.
Figure it out.
All right. Well, let's keep going here. We'll kind of go maybe some of the bad news here. So Stoli has now submitted a revised Chapter 11 bankruptcy plan to address its $78 million secured debt to Fifth Third Bank. The new plan modifies an unusual repayment method of setting a large portion of debt with around 35,000 barrels of unfinished bourbon and other alcohol inventory. To address the lender's concerns about the bourbon's market value, Stoli has now pledged a real estate lien on a Louisiana property owned by an affiliate. Under this new term, if the bourbon inventory fails to sell for its projected value within 27 months, the bank can seize the property. Fifth Third Bank remains skeptical, citing weak bourbon prices and arguing the bank is not equipped to sell liquor. The bank also raised concerns that the plan is unfair because it truly fully pays unsecured creditors with cash while leaving equity holders' interest untouched. The court hearing will determine if the plan complies with federal bankruptcy law, and that's scheduled to be on, today, August 29th, 2025.
Yeah, I'm sure Fifth Third doesn't want to move 35,000 barrels worth of
add that to the huge chunk of stuff that's already sitting on the market.
Yeah.
There's going to be a fire sale coming.
Yeah, no doubt.
This has got to be a lot of stuff that was probably done at Bardstown Bourbon Company, right?
You would think. Hopefully it was all new make, so that at least there's some margin, in there. Hopefully it's not a bunch of aged whiskey because that's just gotten really hit. At least, barrel prices down, but at least if you got new make, there's still margin to be
Yeah,
had.
you started with a $700 cost, and at least if you can sell it for $1,000,
Yes,
all
you can
right,
make something back.
yes, you can get something back out of it.
But
That's
still, it's like, who the hell's going to buy 35,000 barrels in this?
That's a good question. I have no idea. That's the big kind of who knows what if here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just go ahead and keep the doom and gloom rolling here.
Let's go.
Lone Star. No, Limestone Farms Distilling Company, a Kentucky bourbon distillery that actually had included football legend Tim Couch as a partner, is facing some more lawsuits of more than $2 million in liens. However, the company's attorney stated that the distillery has no intention of filing for bankruptcy. The legal challenges include Thoroughbred Engineering has sued the distillery for around $742,000 in design services, Woodford Excavation for nearly $1.3 million, and of course, excavation and site development work. People's Bank of Ohio has sued over $178,000, seeking possession of around 24 barrels of whiskey as collateral. And Central Kentucky Agricultural Credit Union has sued the owners over a defaulted loan, alleging that they owe more than $210,000 on their cattle farm. However, Tim and Greg Couch are not named in the lawsuits, and they have stated they have no operational interest, having only made a small upfront investment.
Yeah, I think they just invested money. They're not tied to it.
No.
I know he did a release with them to kind of get them off the ground, because obviously being a Kentucky football, probably the best quarterback we've ever had.
Wait, over Jared Lorenzen?
I don't know. I mean, Jared was more entertaining.
Yeah.
Probably. He was awesome. Rest in peace. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, I met these guys. I met them at Porcini one time, the owners, and so they were really nice. It seemed like nice people and had a grand vision. And
But
when I hear it,
but this is only $2 million. This seems like you can get out of $2 million pretty easily compared to everybody else.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm sure they'll figure it out and work their way through it. But
it's so
just having these conversations, like 2 or 3 years ago with folks that are wanting to get in it. I was like, "Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Like,
you want to do this?
There's a lot of whiskey being made and behind the scenes right now. So, but hopefully they can figure it out."
Yes, I agree, and I think $2 million is something you can crawl out of. That's really not too bad. Now the 78 million, 100+ million, that's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a little bit different story. All right, let's switch on the bourbon good news dial here.
Let's do it.
To celebrate National Bourbon Heritage Month, Bourbon Banter is hosting its 12th annual 30 Days of Bourbon Challenge, which begins on September 1st, 2025. This event encourages participants to drink a different bourbon each day of the month. And you should be doing that every day of every month, honestly. To participate, individuals should first drink a different bourbon each day of September. You can record your daily bourbon on the Bourbon Banter online calendar. You can share photos on social media using hashtag 30 Days of Bourbon and Bourbon Heritage Month. Drink Curious and also tag Bourbon and Banter. The challenge is open to everyone, and only residents in the U.S. 21 or older are eligible to win prizes. The prizes include bourbon swag packs, community memberships, exclusive items from partnering distilleries, and Bourbon and Banter reminds participants that the only true bourbon counts towards the challenge, and other whiskeys like rye or scotch do not.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's Bourbon Heritage Month.
It is Bourbon Heritage Month.
I do love following along. You see it on, the Facebook groups and this and that, people doing them. So it's fun to see what they decide to pour.
Yeah.
Especially when they decide to do a Pursuit pour. So
yeah.
Makes me feel good.
Make that your September. I don't know. What's a good day in September? Not bourbon and beyond. Let's say that September 16th is Pursuit Spirits 30 Days of Bourbon. It's a Tuesday. What else are you doing, right?
That's right.
That's a great day to.
You don't want to save us for a weekend.
Yeah, no. It's a great Tuesday pour.
That's right.
All right. Congrats to the Pops and everybody over at Bourbon Banter. Love to be able to see this happening. All right. And our last news article here is that Castle and Key has debuted the Key Collective, and it's an exclusive membership program, and members gain just say gain or game. Anyway, they gain access to rare and limited edition spirits, exclusive in-person and online events, behind-the-scenes experiences, and other perks. Interested applicants can apply for individual or family plans with limited spots available for the initial enrollment period. Membership includes premium bottles, VIP access, tickets, discounts, and we'll have a welcome event held on September 12th, 2025.
Very cool. There's A lot of these popping up this year.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't see exactly what it cost though. I should have seen that, but it wasn't in there. So
yeah, I'm curious.
Castle, what I call it though is the what now?
The key exchange or key?
Yeah, that sounds like a swingers party, Ryan. The Key Collective. Key Collective. There we go. So there's the keycollective.vip. Let's see. Become a member. What's this going to cost me? It is okay. So $1,000 a year per person, or it's $1,500 annually for a couple or two people.
What's the 300 or 425?
Well, that's per quarter.
Oh, per quarter. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't read the fine print.
Yeah. So if you want to pay on an annual basis versus pay on a quarterly basis. So
I got you. Does that include the bottles?
I don't know, honestly. Maybe it says these are the 2026 bottles, spring 26 bottles. Let's see. You get complimentary tickets, discounted. I think the bottles are included.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would think for that.
Because I think
price.
Bardstown's is that much, but the bottles are included.
They are or aren't?
They are.
They are included, yeah.
And you just have to pay sales tax whenever you pick them up.
Right. Yeah, it looks like they're included, which is, they should really be included.
Yes.
So, looks like they have some rye whiskey aged in Vino de Naranja barrels coming in winter 2025.
Yummy.
Even though that's right around the corner.
It is. It's hard to believe. Are we in Q4? Yeah. Or no, September 1st, Q4, isn't it?
Well, that's
or
like
September
starting
5th.
in like a couple days. So.
I know.
You're wearing a hoodie already, so that should give you
this morning it was 52 degrees. I was like, oh.
That should give you some indication of what's coming around the corner here.
Yep.
All right, so that's it for the bourbon news. Stick around. Bourbon release news coming up. All right, y'all, it is bourbon release news time. It is our favorite. We're going to talk about what's new and what's happening. The first one is that Baker's is bringing back their limited edition 13-year-old bourbon. It's a single barrel. It's an extra age expression and allows more flavors, blah, blah, blah. It's 107 proof and has an SRP of $150. See
how many they sell at KBF. That's always
a shit ton.
Yeah.
Every single time, it's like the line is waiting out the door, and it's like everybody's just like they're happy to pay $150. They're happy to pay $150 like 2 or 3 times.
I got a bowling pin.
Did you get a bowling pin?
Yeah.
Did you go to the distillery, or
I didn't?
You made somebody go get it for you?
Well, I sent our friends down there yesterday, and I asked Freddie. I was like, "Can I have a bowling pin?" I was like, "I'll buy it," but
yeah,
I just want a bowling pin. So
you haven't had a chance to try it yet, though.
No, I haven't tried it.
Can we try it together?
I don't know. Do we want to open it?
Why would you not want to open it? You don't think they're going to make another one?
Yeah, you're probably right.
They paid for the mold. Do you think they're not going to have a new one every year?
I think I can't remember.
How about this?
I don't want to tell the exact details because maybe you don't want to tell. Freddie told me it was in it, and the whiskey inside of it's really good. So
okay, well,
but I don't know if I can disclose that. So.
Well, I have an original bowling pin.
I know you do.
I'll open up that one. You open up yours, and we'll see whose is better.
All right, let's do it.
All right, see, there we go. We got our.
I guarantee the newer one because
you think
those bowling pins leak. Like I don't know, there's a lot of evaporation in those because I have one too, but like half of it's like evaporated.
Well, you got a bad seal on yours.
I know.
Mine's crystal clear.
Nice.
Mine's light whiskey, actually.
That's right.
All right, so our other headline here is that Penelope has announced its 2025 estate collection. This is a bold array of 5 distinct expressions with minimum age statements starting at 10 years old. This also expands to include reimagined Founders Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey and the introduction of new Omega Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in Omega French Oak barrels, in the award-winning single barrel and private select bourbons. The 2025 editions of Founders Reserve is aged 13 years, bottled to cask strength, which is 121.4 proof. And after 11 years of maturation, it says there's another straight bourbon whiskey is refined for an additional year, and Redux, R-A-D-O-U-X. Redux, I think that, yeah, Redux Omega barrels. We learn something new every day. This is aged 10 years. Sorry, that's 11 years. And then the 2025 Private Select is aged 10 years. It's a 74-20% rye, 1% wheat, 5% malted barley blend.
So is it a wheated bourbon now?
I guess
1%
it's 1% wheat. And that's bottled at 106.8.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did like...
I thought it was interesting they have a Kentucky straight bourbon.
Yeah, I guess
that's the first time they've ever had not MGP or right.
Well, they had they had a blend with Kentucky straight bourbon. It was right before this founder stuff came out. But anywho, I'm sure it's coming from the Luxro portfolio. So.
Probably a good guess, my friend.
Yes, brilliant, Ryan. Brilliant, Ryan.
It didn't make the cut for Blood Oath, but we got it in the Penelope.
I really enjoyed. We got some bottles last year because they had an event here at 21C, and they were actually all really good. So I mean, that's one of the benefits, getting bought by MGP. You go from a brand that's selling mostly 4 to 6 year to instantly having access to all this hyper-aged whiskey. So it's a no-brainer.
It's spoils, enriches the spoils is kind of what I can say about that.
Yeah. But Danny does a good job picking out really good barrels for this.
Yeah. He doesn't have to rely on selling a bunch of light whiskey all the time, right? Yeah. It's like they actually have, they got double-digit bourbon now.
Or maple syrup shit.
There you go. Yeah, sorry to all you Rio fans out there. We're not we're not fans of that one. But there's always there is something in the Penelope lineup that fits. I mean, hell, how many SKUs do they have now? They started releasing all these different cocktail mixes and everything like that too. So they're just
they
going
be pushing north of 20. If I had to guess.
Easy. But good for them.
Yeah,
it's a good way to keep growing. All right, so Jack Daniel's has announced the Single Barrel Heritage Barrel Tennessee Barrel. I'm just kidding. But it was the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Heritage Barrel Tennessee Whiskey, which now be offered year-round as a part of the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Collection. This was a permanent launch that announced the following of the award-winning Heritage Barrel, and those special releases were in 2018 and 2019, that also used Jack Daniel's distinct barrel toasting technique to create a unique and rich character. Barrels are prepared with a high toast, low char, and this toasting technique inspired the earliest barrel making traditions, creating a deeper, richer toasted layer before the barrel's charged. The whiskey then enters the heritage barrels at a lower proof of 100 and is matured in some of the highest elevated warehouses in Lynchburg, Tennessee for at least 7 years. It's offered at 100 proof, and the Single Barrel Heritage Barrel is now available for a suggested retail price of $70 a bottle. That's for $7.50.
Ironically, we had Jeff Arnett, who was the previous master distiller here yesterday, and he was like, this was one of his projects he did. And so, obviously, the first couple of releases were very well received. And so, not surprised they're taking this more mainstream. So,
yes,
it's a really good product.
Good for him. Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for everything in Jack Daniel's there. Elijah Craig, they are also the official bourbon of the Ryder Cup, has announced the limited edition whiskey to celebrate the upcoming golf tournament. And this is made with fully, I like saying this, matured Elijah Craig small batch bourbon, and was finished for 8 weeks in a combination of toasted sugar maple and applewood staves as a nod to New York, the tournament's host state. The finished whiskey is bottled at 94 proof. It features some other tasting notes I'm not going to talk about. It's priced at $68. It also comes with a commemorative gift box with the Ryder Cup logo. And the brand's Road to the Ryder Cup campaign will include an Elijah Craig speakeasy lounge at the Bethpage Black for fans to enjoy signature cocktails, including the Mulligan. That's, of course, made with Elijah Craig, iced tea, and lemonade.
You said applewood staves and what else? Sorry.
It was toasted sugar maple and applewood staves.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. Getting in the stave game.
Yeah. I like it.
It's like we know what we're going to say over here.
I know.
We know where our heads are.
Somebody was telling me the other day, and I'm not saying this, but he's like, guys, you are like ahead of the curve sometimes. And I was like, I know, maybe we are.
We are. We're always a couple years ahead of everybody else. And
we just don't market it well. But anyways,
we got to become what's called thought leaders in the space, Ryan.
That's right.
You got to post what you're doing on LinkedIn, and then all of a sudden you're considered a thought leader.
Yeah, 100%. But Bethpage Black, I played there when I was at school at Rutgers, and I would need an Elijah Craig speakeasy to recover. It's a hard-ass course.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I've obviously never played.
And two, like U.S. Open, the whole goal with the U.S. Open is like to make it as hard as possible. So it's like tall, rough, fast greens. And so like even pros, like usually the winning score is like -2. Like
wow.
The pro, you just get to see the pro struggle. It's pretty
that makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're like, well, I shot a 492. At least they got a 90.
Yeah.
-1.
I love the Elijah Craig tent they did at Valhalla. That was fun. They did a good job there. That's our boy Your neighbor.
My neighbor. Yeah. Shout out to Max and all the Elijah Craig team over there. You're doing a great job.
Yep.
So 2 more things to kind of talk about. First is that on September 1st, William Burkle Distillery is launching Burnt Tavern Bourbon. Sorry about that. It's a 7-year-old premium Kentucky straight bourbon, bottled at 105 proof. It's double-barreled in 2 unique, slowly toasted and charred barrels. The new frontier of bourbon will be released in the central and northern Kentucky markets, with plans to expand throughout the state later this year. Created by master distiller Chip Tate, which I think that's a name that's pretty famous in bourbon, if you don't know that. Burnt Tavern Bourbon carries a subtle whisper. I'm not going to talk about the tasting notes here. But the packaging was designed to illustrate many characteristics and events surrounding the historic tavern, notably the 2 fires and highlights from a unique history since 1794. In 1868, William Burkle founded his distillery on the land he purchased near the site of the legendary Burnt Tavern and began production of handmade sour mash whiskey.
Interesting. Burnt
Tavern. Get you some of that Burnt Tavern 7-year-old bourbon right there.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
Last one.
You're going to love this. Not really. You're going to hate it. Chattanooga Whiskey, because they're always in the news, has announced its newest release in its barrel finishing series.
Oh, I saw this email.
Michigan Maple Syrup Cask Finished.
Yummy.
This marks the 7th release in their limited finishing series, which celebrates whiskey distillers turned into America's... which celebrates the Union of Tennessee high malt with a variety of finishing casks. And for this 7th finish, Chattanooga has turned to America's upper Midwest, this time selecting late harvest maple syrup casks. Notes of these coming from Michigan as well, and exclusively filled with old growth late harvest syrup. And they bring, a lot of different flavor profiles into it. I'm going to skip a little bit. The distilling team blended 2 complementary bourbon mash bills, one being a 4-grain, the other a 3 malt recipe with 2 different types of aromatic malt to highlight the finishing barrels. Is aged over 4 years, including 1 year in the finishing casks, bottled at 95 proof, and will be available for sale for $60 a bottle.
With notes of Mrs. Butterworth.
It is. It is a lot about Mrs. Butterworth and corn syrup. Isn't that what mostly maple syrup is these days? All the fake stuff. It's all
the fake stuff is.
Yeah, it's all corn syrup.
But if you get true maple syrup, it's all just maple syrup.
I know it's hard,
and it's like so much more expensive.
Oh, it is. I was about to say that it's so hard because I'll go to Kroger or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, we have this other Mrs. Butterworth and all this. It's like $2, and then you go with the real stuff, and it's like it starts at like $8 to $14, and
it's like $14 for 2 ounces.
Yeah. And I was like, well, it's got to be good. Hopefully. I did buy some other. I am a sucker for it. I will buy bourbon barrel aged maple syrup every day of the week, though.
Yeah. Woodinville's probably been my favorite one that I've had.
I know. I ran out of it. I used it all.
I know. I did too.
I didn't even use it for old fashions. I was literally eating waffles. It goes quick when you do that.
Yeah. Because it's only like, it's not even 16 ounces.
No. But, I go to Costco and I'll get myself some of those Belgian waffles that, have the sugar crystals baked into it. And then I'll cut up a banana and I'll throw maple syrup all over it. And that's my Saturday morning routine, man.
That sounds like that place in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Why you make me...
I know. I think it's called like Belgian.
Toast of Belgium.
Toast of Belgium, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I have some good... It's like a cake batter waffle.
It is. It's
tasty.
Solid. It's solid. All right. We're going to quit giving you more excuses about our waffle fetishes over here. But that is going to be it for this week in bourbon. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.